proudest day, and the proudest time, and the sight of a relic here, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears. Let's talk rallying. I'm once again joined by Connor Edwards, motorsport photographer for various motorsport publications. Connor, you're welcome as always.
Thanks. Great to be back again.
Excellent. This week we're another jam-packed episode. We catch up with Calum Devine, Noel Sullivan, Rob Duggan, and we had a quick catch up with Marty Toner and Damien Turish, and also get a few thoughts from Rory Kennedy. But we have to start with Killarney there at the weekend. Oh my goodness! We keep saying this, but this rallying crack is getting crazier and crazier every event.
It is, and it's getting better every event too. Yeah. And, it had everything. It had the weather. It had the crowds. And did we have a fight, or did we? It was just, that was incredible.
Yes.
Listen, it looked like it was Fisher's.
Yeah.
It had it in his hands almost, and then Devine kept coming back and chipping away. I think even the opening loop of stages on the Saturday, what was there, 10 seconds between Devine, Moffat, and Fisher? It was just incredible. It was, it was such a close battle. It really was. After the drama of the circuit, it was great event. There was excitement, and there was there was an edge to it or something.
Yeah.
But it was great. Yeah.
You're nearly frightened that after the circuit that the Killarney would come along, that would be an anticlimax. But no, it ramped it up to another level again, So. Absolutely,
it really did. And you're right, there was that fear because the circuit had been good, and then there was obviously the little bit of drama of the circuit as well. And, Kerry, Killarney, it lived up to expectations. It really did.
Yeah, absolutely. And Josh Moffat maybe in the back of his head somewhere was thinking, championship takes precedent here, what am I going to prove? These two guys is determined to take the one. Maybe I should sit back a little and let them fight it out. Maybe one of them will falter or whatever. You just don't know what was going on there. But on Sunday morning, Devine and Fisher, it was phenomenal.
Really was, yeah. Because what I think that the morning started was something like there was a 7 or 8 seconds between the two of them at the start of the morning, and then Devine was just on fire. He was fast as over Mall's gap, slashing into Fisher's lead there, just incredible.
Yeah, and then I've talked to the boys about this. The second pass over Moll's gap, matching each other. Yes, I know they beat the bogey, but still, even without the bogey, they matched each other to the 10th of a second. And there was another stage that was 0.2. There was another stage that was 0.4. That's bunker stuff. 17, 18 kilometer stages to be not even of a blink of an eye between them.
Yeah, I know, and just it was so close, and Devine was just chipping away, and your results coming in, and you're going, can this get any closer? He was coming down to the wire, and again, the two of them were just getting away from Moffat as well. Moffat drifting back slowly, and Greer was having a great run out there too, and even Cronin was coming in the top 6. So it wasn't just the leading two. There was down 10.
And it's not even fair to say Josh was drifting away. His times, he was still faster than the rest, and they were on a phenomenal pace as well too. You couldn't even say that, that the other guys were 10, 15 seconds slower. They weren't, they were only 5 seconds, 4 seconds a stage down, and it was, but that was the fine margins it was at.
And that's it. You're right. It's unfair to say, that Josh was drifting away. He wasn't. You're right. He was, his usual incredible self. But it's just the other were on a different level this weekend. And Jesus, just the polos. Wow. Every week we say the polos, but seriously.
Yeah, the first few events I was starting to doubt myself, but they are really starting to come back, like the last, the circuit Fisher slashing away, like taking 5-7 seconds out of Moffat and stages, and now this rally here, like the two of them just hammer and tongs. I don't know. There's not a regional championship in Europe anyway, and Europe's probably the main championships in the world that they're going to get as epic as this.
No, absolutely. And again, speaking of polos, there's Marion Evans, another strong run from him. Didn't really put a foot wrong at all weekend. Another great. Again, he's thereabouts. It's just one of these days it's going to happen for him.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Him and Johnny Greer and Daniel Cronin really did. There was a great battle in around that third, fourth, fifth spot.
Yeah, and as you say, their day is coming because every round they're just getting, they're getting that wee bit more confident, that wee bit closer. That's just, and Donegal's coming. Who's going to be 300? But that's another story for another day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I suppose the first one we need to speak to is the winner, is Calum Devine, and get his thoughts on it.
It sounds pretty good, Kevin. I'll not lie. Hey, it was always an event I always remember watching as a young boy and stuff, and I always wanted something of someday maybe to try and be able to win it, and thankfully it came sooner than we thought, so delighted.
And what a rally, the whole weekend, right from the ceremonial start right through Saturday into Sunday. The weather was good, the crowds were massive, everything just seemed to just fall into place.
It definitely did. Hey, the crowds was fantastic, and there's always a great buzz about the town, and that's a bank holiday weekend as well. It brings that extra bit about it, and it was fantastic. And do you know something? As you say, probably everything fell into place. I think everybody was kind of expecting rain on the Sunday. It was probably going to put a dampener in the whole thing. We kind of thinking, everybody was going hard on the Saturday, and everybody was comfortable and pushing on, and we kind of thought, if there's going to be a bit of rain here, it's going to upset the whole thing for somebody or something. So, but thankfully, I think there was only, the guys were saying, I think there's a bit of a drop of rain about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and it really kind of stayed away, and kept it all dry for the day, which was good, It was a fantastic weekend, and a fantastic weekend's racing too.
Absolutely. Like that, that Sunday morning, heading out, Park Ferma, heading out towards the Gap. I suppose your mindset is just go as hard as you can. Is championship in the back of your head, or is it just balls to the wall stuff?
Well, bit of both there. Obviously, we kind of knew going into Killarney, if we have any really chance to get this championship off and going, we need a win very quickly, because as I say, Josh had 2 wins and Alistair had a one, and Alistair definitely had the tail up, and we knew when he gets the speed up, he's a very hard man to work with, so he says, look, we need to maximise as much as we can in Killarney, and going out on a Sunday, obviously we're a wee bit behind him. We knew it was just, as I said, me and Noel kind of says setting out, it was, hey, look, we need to make sure it's not going to be an easy task today, but we just need to make sure we're beating them in every stage and keep the pressure on, keep taking time, and hey, that's what we did, and thankfully at the end it was, we managed to get it, unfortunately.
And then like you mentioned there, Noel coming right last minute. Unfortunately, Shane had to step down, but the way he used to just click fastest on the first stage, and not an easy task down there, getting used to a new man on the notes as well.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of was, unfortunately for Shane, he I know he'd be kicking himself that he couldn't go, unfortunately, but it was the right probably decision for him not to go. He says his head wouldn't be on it, obviously, but I kind of left us kind of late enough for us to get a navigator, and obviously a navigator of that experience to call notes and write notes and be able to gel quite quickly is very hard got. A good navigator in this country is very hard got, as it is. But no, thankfully enough, I kind of just, it worked out well. Obviously, Noel being from Killarney too, it just worked out really well. And hey, we clicked, and I have to fair play to Noel. He was very, very professional, and as soon as we set the recce off, you know, you could see they wanted a good result here, and he was going to put his best effort in, which was easy when the two of us are putting the most effort in and we're on the same page. You know, we wanted a big result here, and right down to the final stage when you were capable, just kept pushing, and yeah, it was no, very good. We gelled quickly, and no, thanks to him too as well. You know,
and I know I spoke to Noel there yesterday evening, and I know he said as well, you know, when you were on the stages, but that bit between the stages, that drive, he says, just talked about everything and anything. And it sort of probably helped to distract you a wee bit from what was. And then, you know, it was able to probably chill you out that wee bit. So once you went into the next stage, as you always talk about, hit the reset button again.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, and as well, like he knows that he's very used to sitting with very fast drivers with Oshie Price and stuff, and also with John Armstrong before, like, so he's used to probably such a high adrenaline rush through the stages, and then having to be shut down and the loss of energy and stuff. So he was very clued onto that as well. You know, whenever we came off the stage, it was just like switch off. Hey, we could have been chatting, but we were chatting about football mostly, and just general chit chat and a bit of crack, you know. And hey, once we came up to the start of stage again, it was just switch on again, and he's very good at that, switching himself on too, and it was flat out all go again. And you kind of do need that, you see, because it was a long day on Sunday, so it was. I think we were up at 5:30 or something, and so it's a long day, and you kind of need to preserve as much energy mentally as well as physically too. So no, it was good. And the chat was good between the cars, but a crack, you know, what you need.
Yes, and like that was the second run over the gap. You both beat the bogey time, but even your actual times was like yourself and Alistair down to like 0.0 of a second. Like, isn't that unbelievable? Over 17 kilometers.
Oh, it was crazy. And to be fair, like we had a really good time, and I thought on the first pass of it, we kind of was obviously setting out in the morning. We need a quick time because it's time to lay the mark down at that. But remember, Alistair was only like a second, maybe a second. And I was thinking, Jesus, it's not going to be easy work here. And then the second pass, like he was like, it was crazy. It was crazy, and like. Okay, that's all part of it. That's what you want. As I said before, again, that's some buzz. Like that's what you want. Like keeps you going to stage, being in a race, being in the battle. And I think it pushes each other on. You know, I think when me and Alistair probably put our horns down and both were looking for the one. I kind of think it took our I took both our paces up, you know. I think we kind of knew we both wanted the result, and the two of us kind of think we kind of stepped ahead of the rest of the boys and pushed on, you know. But it was great battling, hey, and that's what you want, like. And hey, as you say, up the gap, like it's crazy, it's crazy to be honest. So.
And like Craig Breen was keeping an eye on the times coming in too. He was. I think he's determined to come back to get that trophy. Like, I think you heard him in 2019.
I heard him in 2019. Oh, he doesn't let it go now. To be fair, you know. He's not too bad. If that's the one thing, maybe I want to have on Craig.
But it's the one thing you can brag about.
It's the only one bragging I think anybody has in this country on him. So I'll keep it on ice, sure. But no, as I say, I think even Craig, like he says back in 2019, the pace in the Irish Championship was crazy. Like, and I have no doubt now, even if any boys came here, the pace would be very hard work with, you know, as I say. And sure, Alistair, like he has the experience too from obviously. Remember when I was growing up, he was doing the JWRC, and you know, remember I think he was podium positions in France. Maybe he might have won or second stuff. Yeah, and that's a long time ago. Like he's top pedigree himself, you know, and the Moffats, and yeah, there's top pedigree here always, you know. So.
Absolutely, and going into that last stage, like, was it going to be kind of like you were throwing everything at it, or was it again, you know, was there a wee bit of, you know, tempering, you know, I need a finish? Or?
No, I think when we set out every day, it's probably easier being the chaser than the boy being chased, you know, that sort of way. And to be fair, all we were really doing was we just need to keep getting fast and need to keep getting in the fastest stage times, and that's what we were doing, and that was the same goal going to the last stage. We got it as close down as we could. we knew our first pass over Carlake was not. We got kind of the wipers were blocked, and a couple of corners we were kind of just a wee bit out of line. So we were kind of looking for a big push through Carlake, and we knew 3 seconds could be possible. I know Alistair would have definitely give us been flat out at it, too. But I look. We just knew we just had to be flat out at it, to be honest. And I think Alistair knew that too, as well, because he knew what their plan was, attack all day, So unfortunately, now when we seen Alistair off, like it was, you don't like seeing them things, like because as I say, we wanted to get to the final end at the end, and hey, look, as I say, the fastest man ever won, naturally, but it kind of took a wee bit of the enjoyment out of the one, for us, seeing him off, because.
The hardship that everybody has to go through to get there, don't you? And
I know the hardship. I appreciate it. Hey, and I can as easily it could have been ourselves. You know what I mean? That sort of way, like. It was what it was.
But then whenever Andy was interviewing you at the end, like it was total disbelief. I think you couldn't quite believe it yourself.
like we knew we were going to have a push in there. We knew it was capable, but not. We just didn't expect to see Alistair off. Like, and it just shows the level that we were pushing at. Like, you know what I mean? It was just a small mistake. I think we caught out on the braking. Thankfully, there was not even a bit of scratch in the car. I think, which is good probably for him as well. Like, and just probably caught out in a wee bit of braking and went off. But. It was a bit of disbelief at the end, but as I say, just it sunk in, didn't sink into we were probably over the ramp, and getting the trophies. It was it was nice. It was definitely nice.
This is going to be like so significant now for you now to push on. You've got that first international one below your belt. It puts you back in a good place now. Yes, Josh is probably still favourite for the championship. But it puts you back in a place now that you have something to fight for now. Yeah,
that's exactly right. Like, and we knew that probably going to Clare. I mean, if we wanted to be in this championship race, we needed a one very, very quickly. And as I say now, we needed that one, and we're happy to get it. And we know now going forward, it still won't be easy. Like, because Josh he's got a good wee bit up on everybody at the minute. But we moved into second, I think now. So, but as you know, there's a couple of big rounds coming next, and Donegal's going to be one of them. I don't think it really matters regarding championships time. I think everybody there will be going as hard as they possibly can in Donegal, which will be. It's gonna be some buzz. It's gonna be some buzz.
I know we keep saying that Donegal lifts it up, to another level. It's hard to imagine how it can be lifted any more this year. Like this year has been phenomenal so far.
Yeah, it has been brilliant, to be fair. It really has. Funny, we were saying that too. Like, after the rally, we were just chatting like, the pace is fast there now. But all that's going to happen in Donegal is they're just going to add more boys into the mix now, and it's gonna be good. Like, it's gonna be good. It's sure if we get Wheeler like that, the way it was in Killarney too, Donegal will be some buzz, as you know.
Gavin, it was lovely to hear Calum's empathy there for Fisher. Again, that last stage drama that Fisher had just with a slight excursion, and again, great victory for Devine. Like, he really did, prove himself in the polo at the weekend. It was great to see it all coming together. And you also caught up with the winning co-driver Noel Sullivan as well.
Yeah, let's hear what he have to say.
I'm 2 weeks on the bounce. Normally I wouldn't have this much luck, but something fell right for me over the last 2 weeks. First round of the British Championship, with Ashton, went really well. As always, myself and Ashton put big work into the recce, into DVD work, and we kind of liked the rally since the get go, but we took a bit of time to get going. But in the afternoon, then we kind of upped the tempo a little bit, and we just pipped Mikey and Keith at the finish. And really enjoyable league. It's a great rally. It was my first time doing it, and Ashton's first time doing it as well. So it's great to do new rallies as well during the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and absolutely.
Nice change. Yeah,
it is, and it's kind of bringing rallying to the people a wee bit as well. It's bringing, it's not out somewhere out remote, far from everywhere. It's bringing it into the, not maybe a town, but as such. But for people can go.
They're really welcoming there, and the rally ran perfectly. There was 2 super specials on the Friday night, and all the locals were there. It was great. It was great atmosphere, and just a great experience again.
Yeah, and it's bringing that BRC back to where it was a few years ago too, which is fantastic to see as well.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, and sure to have Mikey there. Mikey will be one of my best friends. We'll be together since school, as he said last week. So it was great to have Mikey there around us all weekend. It was great. Yeah.
Yes. And then this weekend, Killarney, you got a late call up. How did that come about?
Yeah, I was chatting to Calum on, I think it was Tuesday. It feels like a year ago now. I don't even know. I get my days mixed up. But yeah, Calum was chatting and we said, what way would it work? And I kind of knew there was a chance. Calum was after having a good year so far and he finished last year well as well. And I was actually following the circuit closely and I said, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, I couldn't miss my home rally. I've missed it so many times now down through the years. It was only my 4th time starting the event. Yeah, I can hear the cars go out to the first stage to Moss Gap every morning. Every time it's on, I'd be in bed. And I said, this time we're going to have to give it a right go. Yeah. So,
and then from that very first stage, you two just seemed to click in the car together.
Yeah, it was actually a great feeling to win the first stage of the rally, the opener. Our first time in the car, the first stage, everything clicked. And I could feel he was driving and his confidence was up. I could feel it in him that I knew the time would be fairly close. But it was my first time doing a tarmac championship rally, so I didn't know. I obviously could see times in Killian Duffy's feed during the year, but I didn't know what it was going to be like compared to the British last year. So, but it was fairly hot. Obviously the rally was dry and the speeds were high. Saturday stage were really fast, but no, it clicked and it just kind of steamrolled. We got through Saturday, and I knew from being here like that Sunday was the big day, and we both knew like that we've one chance here now, and it was my rally. We had to put in a little bit more extra. I couldn't leave it go that easy. But obviously, look, what happened. I didn't really want that to win that way, but look, you have to take a win when it comes. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
But, going back to even earlier in the day on Sunday, the second run over Moll's Gap, 17 kilometers to match each other to the 10th of a second.
I actually when I did get to the stop car, I got the time and I said, "Oh, any chance of what's Alistair's?" And he said, "It's identical." I said, "No, there has to be a problem. It's not identical. That's not happening." But sure it was. And Moss Gap is my home stage. I'm maybe 5 or 6 kilometers from the start line. I'm passing the road up to my house and I go out the Muckers Road. Yeah, so I know Moss Gap very well. Like, so it's it was really nice to win the Fisher Award as well for the fastest up the gap.
Yeah, that's
Calum won that last year as well, so he kind of wanted to retain it again this year, and it was just something we spoke about, like that if we want to really make a race out of this weekend or last weekend, that we'd have to start out of the blocks good and early, and try to get the race going on Moss Gap. And sure, it's good for everyone. It's good for Alistair. It's good for us. It's good for Josh. It's good for the people. It's good for the rally. It's the excitement. It's why we all love the sport.
Absolutely.
You know, have an intense battle. It's no one wants to run away with the rally. Like, we all want to fight it out till the end.
But, I know I was sitting at home here waiting on Killian's, going live.
Even if I was at home, even if I was at home, I'd be watching it stage by stage. I'd be watching it like anyone else. We're all the same. But I knew that I was in the middle of a big battle. And
in the car, there must be no feeling like that when it's like that. You don't
even
have to tell the driver, you don't have to speak what needs to be done.
Even though in the car, it's like any one of the boys there in the car. It's just you're going from stage to stage. It's a little bit. It's good fun, and there's no. I wouldn't say obviously the stages are serious, but it's just you're relaxed at the stage start. You're chatting to the lads. At the stage finish, you're chatting. There's good banter and fun, and obviously on the stages we get down to business. Like, but other than that, it's great fun. Yeah.
Aye, that 8 or
Probably
9
more.
minutes.
It's probably more. It's probably more intense for the people watching, and maybe family and
Yes.
the boys in service and all Calum's family and friends, and it's probably more intense for everyone else. But for us in the car,
Yeah.
we're just doing what we love, and we're
You're in your
happy
happy
to do
place
it,
as
and
such,
and we're lucky to do it. Like
Uh-huh.
I was saying, how lucky am I to be going to Park Ferme Sunday morning, my local rally, to pick up Moss Gap.
Aye, and
Yeah.
one of the best seats
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah. To have the view all the way up Moss Gap to be lucky out of people, not that I had much time with Calum. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, you try to enjoy it too, as well as do your job
Yes.
right and get your job done and make sure you're at the sharp end.
Because I suppose there is that temptation not to enjoy it, like, because you
Yeah.
can be
You
so
get
focused.
kind of sucked up in the battle, and the whole weekend goes past you, and you were looking back saying, oh. But I definitely soaked up since from the ceremonial start on Friday evening. I said I'm going to make the most of this weekend, no matter the result. I'm going to enjoy it and give it a go. Once I said to Calum, once we give this a good crack, we'll give it one good crack, and that's definitely what we've done.
Yeah, and like you know, your hometown. What a way they embraced that rally this weekend! Like all the reports come out about it. The welcome the people got, the weather, everything just
everything clicked. Yeah, it was really good. Like we joke in around our own circle of friends. Winning the Rally Lakes is really like the Sam Maguire of rallying down here. He's trying to get the Sam Maguire back to Kerry. But, Paul had the Sam Maguire in 2019, and he got to keep it in with COVID. So there's a big race on trying to get Sam back to Kerry again this year, because he wasn't in Kerry for a long, long time.
You're not going to let him slip away now?
No. It was really, really good, yeah.
And we all know what happened on that last stage, and like, how do you process that? I know watching Andy, it was total disbelief when you stepped out of the car, and then it just seemed to hit you after about 10 seconds. And I think it went from disbelief to just raw emotion pouring out of you.
Yeah, look, sure, when we pass Alistair, it is what it is. But my heart sunk when I saw the car after all. I couldn't believe it. But like that, it was early enough into the stage, so I still knew like we have a job to do here. We need to get this job done, because the last time I was actually racing Gordon Noble, it was over in the RAC. And we both went in. We both went into Monday morning, the last day of the rally, and we were both racing against each other again, and for the win. And Gordon was first in the road, and we were second in the road, similar enough to last Sunday. And sure, Gordon stopped in the stage, and sure, did myself and Ashton stop as well, both in the same stage.
That's right, yeah.
And we were out in contention. Yeah, we left the service park together, and next thing, an hour later, we were back in the service park with our navigators back in our back.
Yes.
We're going home. Yeah. So I knew that we needed to get the job done there and then.
And
I saw.
At some stage, did you say to Calum, keep your head, bring this home?
Or look,
that was it natural enough? He needed a job to be done.
Yeah, there's no telling Calum. Calum knows what to do. He doesn't need advice. He's very mature and a mature driver. Like it was just the next corner was coming, and the next corner it all rolled in. I still think we had a pretty good enough time over it. Yeah. We didn't really, stop completely. Like, but we when we got over the finish, it was disbelief. It was a childhood dream coming together. I couldn't believe it. It was a special moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah. And you talk about childhood dreams there. We kind of touched on it. Like last weekend, you're on the podium with Mikey, and this weekend, Rob Duggan won the modified.
Yeah.
These are the guys that you went to national school with, junior infants right through.
The three of us were all there from the very start. We watched the rally all together, the three of us. We've practically done everything now with that rally. Like, so Rob had a great run again the weekend. Like, Rob is untouchable in this rally. Yeah. He's always so consistent and always lands and gets the job done. No dramas, no heroics. Very, very, very professional. The way he finished the rally, like, with a couple of bit of trouble he had throughout the Sunday, like, and he just got the job done, got the car home, got the result. Top marks himself in Ger, like, it was spectacular.
I love the way he was wanting to compare his times with the likes of yourselves. How close am I to fastest time? Like
I was chatting. Like I said, I knew Rob Sunday morning be running the top 5 or 6. I said, of course he's going to be. There's no other place he will be. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It really was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's, there was always this thing about Liam Callaghan having the secret of the gap back in the day, and it kind of backfired on him. Like, if there's one man that's the secret for the gap, it is Rob Duggan, isn't it?
Even though he won't let on that he has a secret to the gap, I think he might have some little bit of a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah. he's found some wee shortcut or something that nobody else has found yet.
Yeah, he's very consistent. Look, he's very consistent. He's always getting the job done. Like, and consistency is key, really, in this sport, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we can't say it's just in Killarney. He went to West Cork his first time there and raced the boys and all too. So you have to take that to. And go to Donegal and do the same there, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, Rob doesn't have to prove himself to anyone.
No.
He certainly doesn't have to prove himself to me or Mikey, because we know what Rob can do. If it's on the simulators there over Christmas, Rob is on the ball, Rob's racing, Rob wants to win. We know about him. Others say he's to go here, he's to go there, but people forget, like, Rob's been up to the World Championship as well,
That's it, yeah.
Rob has a huge background rallying, do you know what I mean? Rob just isn't this small gap. He proved himself all over the world, so
yes.
He's a British champion as well, like, that time, yeah, so.
Just with a wee bit more rub of the green, he could have been the best up among the best in the world, really.
He's Rob's still very young. Rob isn't a Noel man yet.
No,
there's time for
trying about them old cars, but they always tell about going on yet.
Yeah, never count him out. Anyway, that's one thing that I learned. Never count him out.
Yeah, but that Hollywood couldn't pick up a story that the three just peered out that window, looking at the rally cars going past in the schoolyard to spraying champagne. Fantastic.
Yeah,
story.
taking a half day in school on a Friday to go up to scrutiny. Up to the fire station, all those years ago. Yeah, my first memory would be, I think, I'm not sure on this date now, I could be corrected, but was it 96? I think Bertie and Rory won the Lakes. And there's where Park Firm was, it's called the Fairhill Car Park. And I remember sitting up in the wall with my mom. I was waiting for my dad to come in because my dad was doing the rally as well. But Bertie came in after winning the rally and he was doing donuts inside in the car park with their hands out the window. That was my first ever memory.
Yes. Fantastic to hear it there from Noel, and that whole thing about the three boys growing up, school and everything. Still, I just can't get my head around it. It really is bunker stuff, But we need to talk about the modified as well. How good was the overall battle, but how good was that modified battle? This man Rob Duggan. I don't think there's adjectives to describe his performance at the weekend.
No, I don't think there's anything you could say would do justice to what he did. Like, the battle between himself and Kevin Eves, or ding dong, and especially on the Sunday, really was like, what a storm and drive from Robert Duggan to watch.
Yeah, we know how much he loves the gap, and that's his home stage. But that was just phenomenal, his time up there. And Kevin Eves, I suppose, kind of knew in his heart of hearts. Like, he needed to inflict the damage on Saturday. He got close, but he just couldn't get close enough. And then the drama, the car smoking, will it last, will it not? It was the whole rally was real Hollywood material, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it was. Like, there was loads of drama, but again, incredible performances. Like, you have a Mark II Escort on a Toyota Corolla up there in the middle of the R5s.
Yeah.
Finishing 7th and 8th, like, fantastic, drive, beating Polos and Fiestas and all sorts around them.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the two guys, phenomenal. I keep saying that word this year, but this year keeps delivering. It's unbelievable stuff. And I suppose we better hear from the man himself, this Rob Duggan, man.
I suppose, I think we kind of expected, we hoped to be at the fight for the top modified battle. We knew it wasn't going to be easy with the lineup that was there. There was a huge amount of lads that could have came off the first stage and been quickest. So it was kind of an interesting one facing into it. It was just, we were just hoping that we would be in a bit of trouble during the week leading up to the rally with gearbox issues and stuff. And Monday evening, we actually thought we'd be pulling out, and to be fair to all the lads around us that support us, and they pulled out all the stops, and we were back testing again Wednesday evening for another spin in the car to see if it was right, and everything seemed to click for then. So it was just a case of just spanner check the car and go for the rally. But it was a tough week leading up to it. But we just hoped that we'd be at the race and hopefully be able to put it up to the boys all weekend.
Absolutely. And you talked about, on listening to you and Kelly in there on the Saturday morning, not going out to the gap was a wee bit of an unusual twist in the story. Them stages on Saturday probably proved a wee bit more of a level playing field, that they weren't used, they maybe didn't favour you or the locals. So sort of a bit of a more interesting fight on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was actually very weird. We were all saying it at the start line of stage one that it wasn't Mal's Gap, and I suppose as Kevin Eve said in some interview, he was delighted that it wasn't that first. But no, it was a change up. It was I'd be always up for a challenge, and it just showed that them boys pushed me that little bit to try to be quick on that stage as well as Mal's Gap, and there's bits of that stage that I'd never seen before until last Sunday till we did our recce, and I suppose that did make it that little bit more level playing field. But we just did the same thing that we always do, try and go hard in the first one and see what we can do from there. It's a good place to try and get a few seconds out of someone, and that's where we always try. And no, it was good that it was a bit more level playing field. The third stage, I've done it in different directions and different pieces before, but the other two we hadn't really anything seen of them. So yeah, it was nice to level it up, and I suppose it's my hometown anyway, so I'm always going to have some bit of local knowledge. But no, it was nice to have 11 players, I think.
And then James Stafford retiring so early, everybody, well, myself included, were kind of thinking, would this favour the Darien, them stages and one thing and another? But yourself and Kevin Eves both were hounding the Darien anyway. He wasn't getting away, and I think you're actually still in front of him even when he did retire.
Yeah, I think it was pretty close. I think we beat him on the first one, and on the second one there was a mix-up with times. He got a time that was 30 seconds quicker than I think what he should have got or something, and that would have meant he would have had to catch us and pass us on the stage to get the time. But I'm actually not sure did that get sorted or what. I don't know. We did to the third one. I think it was very close again, and Kevin was thereabouts with us as well. So when the Darien retired, it was a bit of a shame because it was going to be a good battle. But then again, there was no slackening off because Kevin was right there with us. It wasn't like we were a mile ahead of him. He was nip and tuck. I'd say he was within 3 or 4 or 5 seconds there all the time, and we knew Kevin was going to be fast no matter where he goes, and he just showed it there as well.
Yeah, that's as you say there, Kevin is in the modified at the minute, he is the kind of the benchmark. He can go anywhere in the country and go fast. So to be taking time out of him must give you great confidence.
Yeah, definitely. It's anytime you race Kevin, and if you could take a couple of seconds out of him, you're going pretty well. He's well able to put it up to anyone in any modified car. So he's very good benchmark, and he's not slow by any means. So it was good to be racing him.
Yeah, and then we talk about the gap. Then I know it's your local stage and all that there, but to go in there on the Sunday morning, and like you said, nobody could drive that stage, or you couldn't drive it any quicker in the car you had. That must be a lovely feeling to come off that stage, just knowing that everything just clicked perfectly for you for that run.
Yeah, it was. We crossed the finish line. I didn't even know the time, and I kind of had a fair idea that it was good enough. It was clean. It seemed fast enough, and I kind of knew we did what we needed to do over there. We knew Kevin was very close to us starting that morning, and if we were going to get a jump anywhere, it's going to be Mal's Gap, and I'm going to use that to my advantage for as long as I can, and hopefully it stays going that way. But we took a bit of time out of him, but I knew he wouldn't just stop there. Like we did the ball of him and went hard again, so we knew we had to keep the fight to him. So we couldn't leave him get away with anything taking a chunk of time anywhere, so we had to keep the push on. So it was just kind of keeping a good clean stage, getting his best time as we can up there, and it seemed to work in our favour.
And from things just going that well in the car, I spoke to Alistair Fisher and guys before about this. It's you're not even thinking about driving; it's just coming natural. That must be such an awesome feeling, being so at one with the car, the notes, the co-driver, the tires, the road, everything. There mustn't be a feeling like it anywhere in the world.
No, it's pretty good. We're getting the fine tuning bits now with the car as well, which is a huge help. I think myself and Joe have clicked from the word go back in 2015 or whenever. There's never been a day that we haven't worked well together or gelled well together. So that's kind of just a given with us. It just works and that's it. But it's the car was just teething issues from the new build, and we're finally getting to grips with that, and we're both happy enough that we're getting close to the setup now that we're nearly close enough that we can tweak to kind of fine tune it for each stage and stuff. So it was just getting all them small little things out the way for all our days out, that we have a good setup. And it's good that going into a car knowing that the navigator's going to do his job, I'll try and do my job, and just hope to get the best result we can.
Absolutely. And then, we all know the car started to smoke a wee bit on the Sunday. Was that as much as a concern for you as it was for us watching at home, or were you confident enough that it was nothing to be too worried about?
I don't know, to be honest. But there was a bit of smoke Saturday evening, and I was talking to the engine builder Keith, and he was kind of saying it's some little seal, or maybe the head gasket or something. There's a bit of coolant getting in somewhere. So he said, look, just stay going until something does happen. If it gets too hot or starts to slow down, just pull in. And that's what we said to ourselves after we went out to the start of Miles Gap Sunday morning, and we turned off the car because there was a bit of a delay. And when we got back into it, it filled the whole place with smoke. And we kind of thought, right, we're in trouble here. But we just said we'd give it a go. And when the engine was running, it wasn't actually too bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of left it ticking over as best as we could, and we had a starter motor failure then at start of ballot beam at the next stage. When we got it started from that, it filled the place with smoke again, and we were kind of like, right, we're going to service here to call it off. But more talks going in the road to the boys in service, and we just kind of got everyone together inside in service and tried our best to try and fix all the problems. We got the starter started, and we bled up the clutch. We were having a clutch issue as well, and just trying to keep it all maintained. And we said we'd keep going until something started tightening up in the engine, or if there was a major overheat or anything like that, we would have pulled in. I just didn't want to do too much damage, so it was a concern for us. We thought we were going home after ballot beam of the first round, and we just got back to service, and the boys, they kind of gave us the go ahead to go until something else gets any worse. And we were only holding fingers crossed the whole weekend just to see would it get to the finish, but thankfully it did.
But that must be great, having that team there behind you that gives you that confidence that you can let them work away at the car, and you can just get into the car and drive, that you don't have to worry. If they tell you it's okay, that you have the confidence to go out and jump in and go again.
Yeah, for sure. There was lads out looking after us all weekend, just making sure there was everything we needed there, and the boys in service did a great job. Anything we threw at them, they sorted them. We went out and probably broke it again and back into them again, and they never complained or never nothing. And to be fair to Joe, I think he probably ran, like Kevin Eve said, he probably ran a 5K over the weekend, because every stop car we came to from Saturday evening to Sunday evening, he had to jump out while I kept rolling, and he'd run to get his time, and I'd have passed and he'd jump in. I think Killian has a video up of it there somewhere.
Yes.
And to be fair, he deserved the biggest medal of the whole weekend. If it was me running in, we'd be out of the rally a long time ago, but he put in the effort, to be fair. So it was a nice win to get him. It's his first time winning the modifieds in Killarney, so it was nice to get him doing after all the effort he put in.
For sure. And then yourself coming off that last stage, when it finally hit you, you had won your home rally. It must be a very special feeling.
Yeah, it was definitely a special one, especially with the other boys that won it as well. It's especially after a tough weekend. It's always nice to pull them off when you have trouble, and we worked through at the end of every stage Sunday. We crossed the finish line. We did George's ritual of jumping in and out, and we were getting out of the stage. We had to bleed the clutch. We had to try and keep the engine cool. We had to do everything, and it was rushing racing all day Sunday. And when you cross the finish line, then we only had to bleed the clutch once more, and we were back to the finish ramp. That was a nice feeling after the effort we put in all weekend. But to be fair to Kevin and all the boys, they never passed us on. They always stop to see where we are, right? Do we need anything? Do we need a push? Do we need to get told everything? And to be fair, it's down to all them lads that why we were at the finish ramp. It wasn't just us. In fairness, they were unreal. It was the stage times mattered, and that's the way wrestling goes.
That's what they want at the time, to be on the stages, not on the road sections and that kind of way.
That's it. Yeah, I know Kevin was probably praying that something would blow up on our at the end of the day, I don't think he'd want anyone to stop. I think he'd want everyone to stay going the same way he would with him. So no, it was class. Very good.
Absolutely. And I was chatting to Noel earlier. I still can't get my head around this. That yourself, Noel, and Mikey, started out in junior infants, grew up, went to school for however many years, and like Noel won on the rally outright. You won the national section. Mikey, finishing second in the British Championship opening round last weekend. Like I don't know what was feeding you at school or what was in the milk or what it was, but
it's actually even better. Noel won the overall, myself and Joe won the modified, and Jason Farland, John McCarthy won the juniors, and Jason's car comes out of my shed as well. We do prep that and half rub that as well along with Donald, and it was great for the 3 overall positions. There was 3 people out of one friend group, so it was a nice one to get for sure. I don't think it'll happen again for a while, but it was nice. We definitely take that one.
So is Donegal still in the planning, or have to see what needs to be done with the engine?
We'll see what the story is now with the engine. We'll hopefully know more tomorrow about what's wrong or what's right with that. The clutch problem should be easy to solve. I wouldn't be too worried about it. And once there's nothing too major, I think plans are still good to go. But like that, anything can change that. So no, plans are still we're still heading to Donegal anyway. So we'll looking forward to getting up the road to the hills.
So great to catch up with Rob there. What a story. Also on at the weekend there on Monday was Erskine Motor Club St Angelo's stages. A brilliant day again. Club laid on a great rally. 120 starters, I think it was, or thereabouts. Weather-wise, fantastic, action-packed day. A real fun family day. Erskine Motor Club have that event off to a T now. It attracts huge crowds, a great entry, and it's just a fun-filled day. You walk around the service area there, and everybody's just buzzing for the crack and all. Fantastic to see. The rally was won by Stephen Wright, and second was Derek McGarty, and then the third was Marty Toner and the brother's car that he borrowed the night before. So there's a lot of trust in that family. And Joe Sharp caught up with Marty Toner and Damien Turrish at the end. So let's hear what they had to say.
Marty Toner, third overall today in the St Anglo rally.
Yeah, good rally, yeah. I wouldn't come to 11 o'clock last night, it took you hours. Even he said to go in, perhaps there twice.
Right.
Good day, yeah.
Brilliant result in your top 2 will drive as well.
Top 2 will drive and third roll, yeah.
Very good. So
happy. No marks on her.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So the next day out again is?
I don't know. Into my own car, making it for tonight. Hopefully, we made it today, in 3 weeks, hopefully. All well.
So congratulations again. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Damien Turrish, another good result today in the airport rally.
Good day now. Another good day in the office there now. So I enjoyed the day. Another good day's weather. So hard to beat now.
And you'll probably end up getting the top 2 will drive overall award.
I think we are there. Maybe Marty Toner now, the great rally day now. He beat us there in the last 2 now. So, but I think he might be third overall. So that'll leave us for the 2 days. But no, great battle with him all day now. Fair play to him.
And the conditions were perfect all day. It's good drive.
I know bother high and the car must have beat them. No, enjoyed it now.
Congratulations, well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic news from Motorsport Ireland now, just breaking over the weekend, and I think it's officially released now that right-hand drives are going to be allowed now to score overall results now in the Tarmac Championship. Brilliant to see at long last, has to be commended. I know it took a few dips and turns and twists, but we're there now, and also some concessions for the modified cars as well too, which will hopefully iron out a few wee wrinkles that was there as well. So absolutely great to see.
Oh, listen, if it gets more competitors out onto the stages, all the better. I know there's a few people that prefer to drive right-hand drive. They don't like rally and left-hand drive because they're not used to it. And rumors are that there's a few converted cars already in the country ready to go, including our Polos. What do you call it? It's great to see. We'll eventually get sponsorship from Volkswagen. But it's great to see. As I say, if it gets more competitors out on our stages, and especially back into the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, it's unfortunate that 4 rounds have gone already at the championship, but it's not over yet, and the more the merrier is what I say.
Absolutely, and the modified thing there as well. It's going to, there's a few question marks over certain cars and one thing and another, and hopefully that clear up all that and get everybody a fair crack at the which is, that's all we want, is good, clean rallying. Everybody enjoy it. There's no performance advantage to be gained by converting, a left-hand drive R5 to right-hand drive. Don't get me wrong. Is it, I'm glad to see it. Absolutely. I don't think that there's no downside to it. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's only positive that, maybe some of them top modified guys might look at an R5 now and say, this step's possible now. I don't have to look at, converting, to try and get my head around how to drive a left-hand drive car. It all has to be positives, I think.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I don't think there's any negative side to it, and if it encourages a few more people to step into an R5, all the better. Like, R5s, where's that now? You don't look for a WRC car now on the Tarmac Championship. They're not there. They're not the top end anymore. It's about the R5s now, and if we can get a bit more competition into the R5s, fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to see. Delighted now that whole thing's been resolved. It's it's dragged on, but now we're good to go now. That's the main thing. So I got the chance to catch up with Rory Kennedy, and he gave us his thoughts. So Rory, at long last, white smoke from Motorsport Ireland this week. We're now allowed to have the right-hand drive R5 cars in the overall results.
Well, I think it's a very welcome decision, Kevin. This is a sort of worn-out record at this stage. It's been banging on there for, I don't know, long past 18 months or year to 18 months anyway. And finally they've taken responsibility and made a decision, and of course it's to be welcomed by many. I don't know. In fact, I'm not aware of any dissenters at all as to this development, and I feel for the overall good of rallying, it's it's a very welcome decision. I'm all for inclusiveness and having as many competitors in the rally competing to win the various classes and categories, and this really, personally speaking for us, for myself and Gary Jennings, and I suppose I speak for other R5 guys like Tim McNulty and maybe Colm O'Rourke and various other people who have R5 right-hand drive R5 cars. It's very welcome. We feel much more part of the rallies whenever we're classified in our natural position, if you like. I must point out it was through no fault of any of the organisers, or that we weren't classified in the normal classification of the results of the rally. So no fault of any of the organisers of any of the events. And also I'd like to say that the Irish Tarmac Championship took an unprecedented step whereby they did recognise us as part of the results. And after Galway, we were listed as 4th in the Irish Tarmac Championship, which was very welcome, and fair play to Paddy Flanagan and the people there and his team that included us. So anyway, very good, very positive development as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. Yes, it could have been done earlier in the season and one thing and another, but this will now allow other competitors now to join the fold. We're hearing stories of the McHales of 2 polos, as you mentioned, Tim McNulty there's back. That all has to be welcomed.
Oh, for sure, right, welcomes for sure. And I think, Kevin, it opens up maybe another possibility for other competitors maybe to go down this road now and maybe develop these right-hand drive R5 cars. The polo has been very dominant in Ireland over the past 3 events on the Irish Tarmac Series, right, for 4 events. Well, Josh won 2, in fairness to them, but in more recent events. But I feel like anybody who was thinking about going R5 and was a wee bit hampered by the thought of having to go left-hand drive, is now free to go right-hand drive. And don't forget, these cars can go from right to left, left to right, back and forward. To be so, it doesn't take any value away from the cars, and they're still can be sold in the European market and can be bought in the European market.
Absolutely.
Simply because they can be converted so easily and so cheaply.
Yeah, and that's not gaining any performance advantage or nothing like that. There, in reality, it makes common sense really at the end of it all, doesn't it?
I suppose it does. And as I say, it's a worn out record this days, and we're all a bit fed up. But fair play to Motorsport Ireland, and the statement that was issued by the president of Motorsport Ireland earlier or late last week. Something that was rumoured to be coming and coming. It's been coming for a long time, and we all were thinking, we'll believe it when we see it. But finally, it's here now, and that decision's made. And of course, it's not only for us, but also the modified cars come under that category as well. And there's a welcome decision there, I think, for the Starlets as well.
Yeah,
there's a development there which allows them to compete on an even footing as well, which is very welcome also.
Absolutely. And as much as someone has disagreed with the introduction of the R5 cars back in 2016, now it has really, this last couple of years, this championship has been reinvigorated. So the more guys that come into that class, the merrier, really, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. R5 Rally 2 category has proved hugely popular, and the speed of them now, in fact, they now even are quicker than the last 1600cc World Rally cars. Not to chat about the older 2-litre World Rally cars like the Subarus and all. To be perfectly honest, I don't think the Subarus could even see the way they go, even though they are 2-litre cars. The chassis and the improvement on corner speed and the overall package of an R5 Rally 2 car now is an incredible package, and driven by the right drivers who can take can drive them to their full potential, goes to show the speed and what unbelievable levels that they can commit to, and win rallies outright by a fair bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned there yourself, Gary, there, like, I suppose this late decision has kind of left you a wee bit in the white foot now going into June, but I suppose it's full steam ahead now to get up to speed. Yeah, he and I were discussing that today as well. On what our run up to Donegal Rally will be. What events we intend to take in, and we're sort of bouncing that around a wee bit of what would be the right preparation with events and so on. So we're working on that at the moment. I suppose not to dwell on the past, but we were entered for West Cork, but we felt there was no point in going there on account of not being classified, if you like. Yeah. And also the same applied to Killarney, 2 fantastic rallies in their own right. But unfortunately, we felt that there weren't events that we could compete on, based on the rules that applied at that time. But now that's all opened up, and look, the season lies ahead. We can do what we wish, and we're welcome with open arms. And it's when you have top drivers and top cars, like spectators and the general rally fraternity in Ireland want to see the top drivers on the best cars out on the stages, and there's quite a few in the right-hand drive category that come in that that tick that box. So from here on in, hopefully we'll see a few extra drivers in the internationals. Yeah, and it might even encourage some of them top modified guys then to make the move across as well. They're able to stay right-hand drive as well. Just thinking out loud, it might encourage the likes of your Kevin E's, your Gary Kieran's, and one thing in order to sample the 4-wheel drive as well. Yeah, because don't forget it's 4-wheel drive as well. Like the package, they're unbelievable speed in the cars now. Some people say they're not the spectacle that they would like. When the modifieds provide an unbelievable spectacle, but nevertheless, the speed and the corner speed and the commitment of the drivers in the R5 categories are second to none. And you only have to look at last weekend there in Killarney. What a fantastic rally we were all treated to. And, the closeness of the competition was unbelievable. And if you think, I think that Ali and Calum did the Carroll Lake stage, I could be corrected in this, but I think about 16K, maybe a wee bit more. And there's only 0.2 of a second between them, If you think about it, that's incredible to, for 2 drivers, same cars, and be able to sort of, do identical times pretty much. Unbelievable. Yeah. And, we're mentioning Donegal there, it's only what now, I suppose at this stage, 6 weeks away. It has all the ingredients, once again, to be a mega event. What's your thoughts ahead of Donegal this year? Personally speaking, Donegal for me is the rally of the year, of course.
obviously been local and an event you've grown up with. But I feel at the top end, the boys had a really, really close race on the circuit. They had a really, really close race in Killarney, and I feel there's no reason that won't be rolled out here in Donegal as well. They've got epic stages here as well, and I feel, there'll be like everybody knows the rally inside out. We've done it all for years and years, and the commitment here is unbelievable. So I expect the competition at the sharp end to be really, really close, and I suppose right down the field as well in the modifieds.
So fantastic to hear from Rory, and looking forward to seeing himself and Gary now out on their right-hand drive R5. So it's that time where, wrapping up the show and we get to predictions. And okay, we've no predictions to make, but we're looking back at the work we did for the Rally of the Lakes. So here, so we'll drop him in at first. Fisher to win, followed by Devine with Josh Moffat in third. I went for Devine, Moffat, and Fisher, and Kevin, copying me, you went for the same with Devine, Moffat, and Fisher. Close-ish. But we still haven't yet, hit the nail on the head to get the top three right. And modifieds, Adam had chosen Robert Duggan very wisely. You and myself, again, copying each other, we'd both gone for Stafford, and unfortunately wasn't to be for James.
Yeah, early retirement there. So, but we're getting closer.
Yes, I think so. We'll keep telling ourselves we are anyway.
We're fooling ourselves by thinking of it. Yeah. So once again, we're here at the end of the show. So if you can please like, share, comment, send us a message, whatever has to be done. But most of all, I hope you've enjoyed listening. And until the next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.